Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I just wanted to talk to you guys about the Spyderco Para 3. But before I do, I just want to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. Today is Mother's Day at the day of this filming, and so I just want to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. And thank you so much for joining me. I want to talk to you today about the Spyderco Para 3. This is the version in the Maxamet steel, and I just got this in yesterday, and I absolutely love this knife. You might wonder why I have this Flytanium sticker in this corner, and I'll get into that. But before I do, so this knife came out about what, like 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now. And when it first came out, I got the original version with the black G10, and I believe it's the S30V steel, and I liked it. You know, it was cool. But then I ended up either trading it or selling it because as much as it was a good knife, it just didn't really speak to me. But I did get it because I am a big fan of the Paramilitary 2, and I just felt like this was a really cool like evolution of that knife in a smaller package, and so I got it. And I love to just try out knives that that really mark a certain special kind of a moment in that in a knife's company's like evolution and growth. And I just felt like the Para 3 really captured that. And so I had the original Para 3, ended up getting rid of it. And then now 2-3 years later, I have it back in my collection. And I had to get this particular version just because of what I've been hearing about that Maxamet steel, and just how amazing the steel properties are, and how it cuts really well. I believe the Rockwell hardness on these guys are like 67 to 69 or something ridiculous like that. And so I don't have like a what do you call it, like a professional sharpening system. I still to this day use a Spyderco Sharp Maker, the basic kit, and I've been using that for the past 10 years, and it's worked really well. But I don't know how it's gonna fare on that Maximum steel, just because I know that it's gonna be a really difficult steel to sharpen. So we'll see about that. The reason why I got this particular version, because I know there's different versions of the Para 3. I think there's one in like the K390 steel. There's one in S35VN, and they just came out with the S45 VN in the lightweight variation. So there's plenty of different flavors to choose from. But the reason why I got that Maxima steel is just because I love a good patina. And as you know, Maxima steel is a tool steel. It is a high carbon tool steel, so it will patina and it will rust if you don't take care of it. And I could tell you, just having it for one day and not even really using it, but just touching it with my fingers is starting to develop a slight patina. I don't know if you could see it on camera here, but yeah, I love a good patina on my knife just because it just gives it character. It just it just kind of grows on you, and it evolves with you as the end user. Another thing I really the reason why I chose this particular variation is because I love this finish that that's the Spyderco did on this blade. This is like I don't know how to describe it. It's like a mere stonewash type of a finish. Let me see if I could show that to you. It might be hard to see on camera, but oh man, I love this a whole lot more than that satin finish that they do on the standard versions. Yeah, it's really nice. It I don't know how to describe it. It's like it's a little bit more muted. It's a little bit almost kind of like a gray wash, but I absolutely love it. And maybe that's why they chose this gray handle scale, this color. It's because the blade almost kind of looks gray to the eyes. Yeah, it's really nice. I love this knife. I have small to medium sized hands, so this fits me perfectly. I do want to bring in, I've had a lot of different Spydercos in my lifetime. I've been in this knife game for over 10 years now, so I've had all sorts of Spydercos, but currently in my collection, the other two Spydercos I have is this smock in this 20 CV blade and that polished black G10 handle scales that's exclusive to Knife Joy. This is an amazing knife. This is probably one of my favorite Spydercos of all time in this specific variation. And so if you, the Spyderco, the Para 3 is a little bit smaller than the Smock. And then of course I got to bring in my Paramilitary 2. This is one of my all-time favorites, and you could kind of see that it is, the Paramilitary 2 dwarfs it by maybe about half an inch or two. But yeah, this is also a fantastic knife. As you can see, it also fits my hand really well. But yeah, going back to the Para 3, I think for me this is just about the perfect everyday carry profile. And now I want to kind of talk about why I have this Flytanium sticker is because I also got the Flytanium titanium handle scales for the Para 3. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that on here. But just if you just look at it, just initial impressions, if I just kind of put it on top, you can already tell it's going to be a super grayed out knife. And I really like that. I love kind of like the monochromatic just look that this titanium scales give you. And the way that Flytanium did this particular scale is they stonewashed it. So it actually complements this blade perfectly. It's almost like it was a match made in heaven, But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put that on there, maybe today or tomorrow. But for now, I'm just going to really just enjoy this gray G10. I think they did this gray G10 really well. It's very muted. It's, like I said, a very monochromatic knife. It's not very blingy at all, maybe except for that pocket clip. And, I've heard a ton of things about this pocket clip and how a lot of people hate it because of the placement of this clip and how it really just kind of makes the knife ride really high out of your pocket. I don't really mind that, to be honest. What I do mind is when a pocket clip is not comfortable in the hand. You know what I'm saying? So this feels really good in the hand. I don't really feel the pocket clip just intrude in any way. It kind of fits, nicely into the mold of the hand right here. And so, yeah, it's not uncomfortable at all. I think Spyderco, really just wants to make a pocket knife that's just going to do its job. But I have seen some really cool options from MXG Gear and Lynch. They make some really cool like fold over clip that that makes this knife carry deep in the pocket. They also have some really cool color variations. So maybe in the future I might get like a titanium pocket clip with like a blue anodized or bronze anodized, just to give this color knife a little bit more color and a little bit more character. As it stands now, it's just like a really monochromatic knife, but I don't really mind that because I just got it in and I'm gonna just enjoy this knife for what it is. But yeah, this is more like a first kind of a look, and this is, Spyderco always, they're really thoughtful in their design. You know what I'm saying? That's what I really like about Spyderco. I heard one of my favorite knife reviewers say that, Spydercos aren't going to win the beauty pageant. And yeah, generally I agree. I agree that Spydercos aren't like the prettiest looking knives, but I think it really goes with their design philosophy. They're just designing knives that are comfortable in the hand and that work really well. And sometimes that means that it's not going to look pretty, but that's okay. For me personally, I think the Para 3 and the Paramilitary 2 looks amazing. I love how it looks. I love the different kind of curves and then that straight downward edge to the point. I think it just has all the right curves in all the right places, and then all the straight, lines in all the right places as well. So for me personally, I think it's a beautiful looking knife. I think it's probably one of the best looking knives in Spyderco's lineup. But yeah, I really like this knife. If you're thinking about getting the Maxamet version, I highly recommend it. Just by the finish of that blade alone, I think it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hardest to really capture it on camera, but it's like this really subtle mirror. It's almost, it has a reflective like finish. So it's like stonewash, but it's like it's a kind of reflective. And then as you use it, it's gonna patina. So it's going to age with the end user, and I think that's gonna look really sweet. But yeah, it's I think yeah. The thing is, because it is a high carbon steel. Even when you get the package, it comes with one of those like that desiccant. I think that's what they call it. You know, to keep the moisture out when it's being delivered to you. So yeah, I guess that's how vulnerable this blade steel is to, you know, to moisture. Really cool thing also want to read about Maxamet is so I have the original package here, and they actually provide you like a little booklet, you know, like an informational booklet about Maxamet. And it's really cool how they developed Maxamet. So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but pretty much Maxamet is produced by Carpenter Technology Corporation. And they say that they developed Maxamet specifically for use in rollers of their state-of-the-art steel rolling mills. Rolling and shaping hot steel demands an alloy that is incredibly hard and tough and can retain those properties at extremely high temperatures. Maxamet meets those challenges head on and also offers qualities that give it extraordinary potential for use in other applications. So this steel was specifically developed to operate in very high temperatures on other steels. So can you imagine how hard the steel is? It literally can take on other steels. And I think this is, from what I've heard from other, knife nuts, that this is like probably one of the highest, edge, wearing steels out there to date, So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I love different steels. I won't say that I'm a steel nerd because I don't know a lot about other steels, but when Spyderco or other companies come out with these really cool steels, I like to support those companies. You know what I'm saying? I like to support companies that are trying different things, that are working with materials that are extremely hard to work with, right? Because I think other companies have tried to work with Maxamet. I think ZT Tolerance have tried, and other companies, but because of just how incredibly difficult it is to work this steel, that's why you don't see a lot of Maxamet knives out there. And Spyderco went ahead and produced these and put it on the Para 3s, and I think also on the Paramilitary 2s. So I love that about Spyderco, man. They're just willing to go for it. You know what I mean? Like, and I love companies that do that don't, necessarily play it safe, but are willing to kind of stretch the boundaries a little bit and try different things. And it might not work, but it's a step towards the next evolution. I talk about like the when Spyderco came out with their ball bearing pivots. I think the Mantra and the other one, I forgot the name of the other knife, but there was a lot of issues with those knives. The ball bearings weren't just working right. It wasn't smooth. But you know what? They tried it, and they learned from it. And you know what came out of that thing? Dude, the smock. And if you own the smock, you know how awesome this knife is and how good it feels to open and close it. And this is a ball bearing pivot too. So you know what? They learn, they learn from their experience, and they just never just rest, they just never rest. They're always just looking to improve. They call it like their constant quality improvement, right? And I love that about companies that are willing to just try things, mess up, but then learn from it, and then come out with a product that's even better. And that's why I'm a big fan of Spyderco, and I think they did this perfectly with this Para 3 and this Maxamet steel. The action, of course, is amazing. It's super fun to play with. It's not just the compression lock, I think. It's also the finish on this blade just makes it like buttery, glassy smooth. If I could recall, it's from when I had the original Para 3, I think this is a little bit smoother. And it just has a different feel to it. It just has this really nice, like, crisp click. Yeah, it's amazing. So yeah, if you're looking to get the Para 3 in the Maxamet steel, I think dealers still have it available. It's I've seen it on pretty much all the major retailers out there. I got mine through DLT Trading. They're an amazing company. I've gotten several knives from them, and I think as of today they still have it. So if you're, if you want to get one, I would highly recommend getting this particular variation of the Para 3, because man, this edge is gonna last a long while for a normal, just everyday user. I'm thinking I probably won't have to sharpen this for probably like a year or two. But yeah, so go ahead and get yourself one. I think you will not be disappointed. All right, the next time I shoot this video with the Pair 3, I'm gonna have these really sweet titanium scales on this, and then I'll do another video to show you guys how it looks like and how it feels in the hand. I know it's gonna add like maybe an ounce or two more to this knife, which I really don't mind, because when it comes to smaller knives, I do like to have a little bit more heft to my smaller knives. It gives it more like that feeling of solidity and that heft. I like that. When it comes to bigger knives, I do like to have a little less weight. So it's like that balance. I feel like everything isn't balanced. When you have a big knife, I like to kind of have the weight kept down a little bit. It has a little bit more balance, but it is a bigger knife. It's more capable. But then when it comes to smaller knives, I do like to have a little bit more weight to it, so I could feel like, I'm using a tool. And that's why I was never really into like the lightweight knives, including the Spyderco, the lightweight, versions of all the knives that they have, or like the Benchmade bug out. I've handled it. I wasn't a big fan, just because I felt like I wasn't really holding a knife. I felt like I was holding like a toy knife or something. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put these on. But yeah, I could tell it's gonna look really sweet. This has a really nice like stonewash finish to it, and I think it complements really well with that stonewash on that Maxamet steel. So look for that video. I'm gonna put it up in a few days. But until then, enjoy Mother's Day. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys later.